A grand opening, it's such an incredible moment, right? It's the finish line for all that dreaming and hard work. But after the ribbon is cut and the confetti settles, what happens next? That's exactly what we're going to dig into today. How you go from that amazing launch party to real, sustained, profitable growth. All right, let's lay out the roadmap. First, we'll talk about that universal challenge that hits right after launch day. Then we're going to welcome two fantastic new businesses right here in San Pedro. After that, we'll look at a really common marketing trap they might fall into and introduce a smarter, modern alternative. We'll even apply that strategy directly to them, and finally, look at the kind of profitable results they could see. So the launch party is over, right? The initial buzz on social media starts to fade a little. Now comes the real work, turning all that great opening day excitement into a steady stream of customers. This is that moment every single entrepreneur faces when you have to shift from a one-time event to building a brand that lasts.
And the San Pedro Chamber of Commerce really hits the nail on the head here. A ribbon cutting is a fantastic opportunity. It's all about getting your name out there, showing off your space, and starting to build that crucial customer base. But look at those keywords, opportunity and begin. It's just the starting line, not the finish.
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, especially when the market is so crowded. How do you actually take the energy from that one amazing day and build a system, a real system that keeps bringing in new clients, builds trust, and, let's be honest, drives revenue? So let's bring this down from theory to the real world. Let's look at two local businesses that just celebrated huge milestones. This past week was a big one for the San Pedro community, so let's give a warm welcome to our newest neighbors. Okay, so on one side, we have the Kehillah Early Learning Center. It's a new Jewish preschool that just had its official ribbon-cutting ceremony. And on the other, we've got the Absolute Best Wellness Center, a boutique spa that celebrated its re-grand opening. Now, these are two totally different businesses, but you know what? They share the exact same goal: growth. For Kehillah, their whole mission is about creating this wonderfully nurturing environment where kids can just flourish. So for them, success isn't just about filling spots. It's about earning the absolute deep-down trust of parents who are making one of the biggest decisions of their lives. And then you've got Absolute Best Wellness Center, which has carved out this really cool, specific niche. It's not just another spa. No, it's a place for intentional recovery, a nervous system reset. Their entire brand is built on this idea of tranquility, expertise, and being a calm, authoritative voice in the wellness world. Now, here's the thing. Both of these businesses, they get it. They know they need video to tell their story. But the second they decide to create some, like most small businesses in the South Bay, they immediately run smack into this super frustrating problem. They're basically faced with two equally bad choices. And this slide just lays out the dilemma perfectly. On the one hand, you've got these giant, cold, corporate media campuses. Think Hollywood sound stages. Yeah, they're professional, but they're also crazy expensive and totally intimidating. Then, on the other hand, you have the gamble of renting some random room where you're just crossing your fingers that the place is clean and the owner actually shows up. Neither one feels right for a local entrepreneur. But what if there was a third option? What if there was a way that wasn't built for blockbuster movies or just hobbyists, but was designed specifically for business owners just like these, right here in our community? An approach that feels more like a strategic partner. And this right here is the game changer. It's a total shift in mindset, and it's the philosophy behind places like Voxel Micro Video Labs. See, they're not just selling you hours in a room. They're focused on helping you create actual business assets. The goal isn't to just make a video. The goal is to produce something that directly adds to your bottom line. They've got this name for their method: precision content engineering. Now, I know that might sound a little technical, but stick with me, because what it really means is pretty simple. It's about combining empathy, like understanding that being on camera can be nerve-wracking, with a super efficient process and a laser focus on making short videos that actually turn viewers into customers. And it all breaks down into 3 easy steps. First, you get coaching, so you actually feel comfortable and sound like your authentic self. Second, they use this efficient live-to-take workflow, which means you can literally record a month's worth of content in a single afternoon. And third, it's all about strategy, turning that content into short, punchy, vertical clips that are perfect for social media sales funnels. So let's take this model out of the clouds and apply it directly to our neighbors in San Pedro. How does something like precision content engineering help a preschool and a wellness center solve their very specific real-world challenges? This is where it gets really cool, because you can see how it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. For Kehillah Preschool, the big challenge is building parent trust, right? So the solution is empathy-first coaching that helps their team create videos that are just warm and authentic. For Absolute Best Wellness, the owner is short on time and needs to project calm authority. The solution, an anxiety-free environment and a workflow so fast she can get right back to her clients. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what about the results? What actually happens when these businesses use a smarter, more strategic approach to video? We're not talking about vanity metrics here, like likes and views. We're talking about real, tangible outcomes that you can take to the bank. Here's what they can probably expect. First, a focus on actual sales leads and revenue. We're talking new preschool enrollments, new massage bookings, not just empty likes. Second, they'll build trust and authority in the local market, and fast. Third, keeping up a consistent digital presence suddenly becomes easy, not a soul-crushing chore. And finally, they get that professional polish that makes them stand out from any competitor filming on an iPhone in a messy backroom. And that really brings us to the final and most critical question for any business owner watching this. I want you to take a hard look at your own marketing. Are you trying to be a filmmaker or are you trying to grow your business? Because in today's world, there is a clear, efficient, and strategic path to make sure your video is doing the heavy lifting for you.